to Glasgow Caledonian University. My name's Hannah Davis, and I am joined today by the Associate Dean for International for the School of Health and Life Sciences here at GCU, Karen Thomson. Hello, Karen.
Hello, morning, Hannah.
Good morning. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand over to Karen, who's going to deliver a short presentation, no slides, but just a short presentation on life here at GCU. Please feel free to ask any questions you've got in the public chat box, which is just to the right-hand side there. We'll also be recording today's session so that we can use the recording and send it out to anyone who misses this session. So it's just to make you aware that it will be recorded. So I just want to say thanks again for joining us, and I'll hand over to Karen.
Good morning or good afternoon, depending what part of the world you're in today. I'm absolutely delighted you've joined me today. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about what the School of Health and Life Sciences at Glasgow Caledonian University, and then a little bit about being an international student and studying in Scotland. What I'd like you to do, though, if you've got any questions, please put them in the chat, and I'd be happy to address any questions as best I can. So before I start, a little bit about me. I am Karen Thomson, Dr. Karen Thomson, as Hannah introduced me. My background is psychology, so I'm originally a psychologist. I then went on and studied international education, studied how international students manage studying in a different environment, got my doctorate in a school of education, so I spent some time in education. And my current role is I am the Associate Dean International for the School of Health and Life Sciences, which means that all things international sit within my remit. So ensuring that our home students get good chances of mobility, ensuring that our curriculum is fully internationalised. But the favourite part of my job is working with our international students. Because long time ago, when I was in my early 20s, I was an international student and I studied psychology in America. So I understand exactly what it's like to leave home, go across to almost the other side of the world and study. And although America's the same language for me, it was very, very different. And for you who may be studying in a different language, I understand the challenges that you'll face as an international student, and I am absolutely here to support you the best I can. So that was a little bit about me and what I do in my role. I will go on now and talk a little bit about the School of Health and Life Sciences. Then I'll tell you a little bit about studying in Scotland. So the School of Health and Life Sciences at Glasgow Caledonian University is the biggest provider to the National Health Service in Scotland. We teach all, well, not all, but a large proportion of the nurses, physiotherapists, podiatrists, biomedical scientists, radiographers, diagnostic imaging, and the list goes on. So most people who work in the health service in Scotland have either done an undergraduate or a postgraduate or some professional training at the School of Health and Life Sciences at Glasgow Caledonian University. For all our programmes, apart from our psychology undergraduate programme, you will get your certificate to practice whatever profession you are studying once you've completed your degree. So you will either be a nurse or a physiotherapist or a biomedical scientist. And as part of the undergraduate programme, you'll have a lot of opportunity to work in different placements throughout your journey. So as well as doing a lot of excellent teaching on health subjects, we also have got a very good research profile. Now, I understand the audience here are particularly interested in undergraduate programs, so I'm not going to go into great depth about our research, but I can tell you that 91% of the university's health research has been formally classified as world-leading or internationally excellent. So as well as our research, we also do a lot of professional development programs for a number of people working in the NHS. So some things about the School of Health and Life Sciences. If you are coming to study here, you might want to listen to some of our Global Voices series. We do some podcasts on Global Voices where some of our current students international students speak to their program lead about the student journey. So we've got a series of global voices you may be interested in. Another fact about School of Health and Life Sciences is we're a World Health Organization collaborating centre. So we do a lot of work with other universities who work with the World Health Organization. So not just do we have an understanding of health in the UK, we've got a real understanding of global healthcare issues. We also have a Learning Development Centre. Now, the Learning Development Centre is fantastic for our students. If you're a little concerned about your academic writing or how you're going to get through some of the assessments because they're new types of assessments, something that you've not experienced in your home country, the Learning Development Centre are incredibly supportive. So you may understand the concepts and the theories, but not quite sure how you're going to put that into your assessment and get graded on it. But you just make an appointment to go and see somebody in one of our academic development tutors in the Learning Development Centre, and they will be incredibly helpful. I know our international students who are here and those who have already graduated come to me at the end of their degree and say their Learning Development Centre was a fantastic support for me. So you'll meet our tutors in the Learning Development Centre. We've got some amazing facilities. If you're interested in optometry or any eye programs, we've got a Visions Health Centre here. So our Vision Centre is open to the public. The public come in, get their eyes tested with all sorts of different equipment. It's also all students who are studying optometry or any of our other eye programs will have placements within our Visions Centre. We also have an interprofessional simulation centre, and that is on the 5th floor of the building I'm sitting in just now. We've got a hospital ward, so we've got an ambulance, or what's called a simbulance, because it's not a real ambulance, it simulates an ambulance. It's called our simbulance. And that is for all our paramedics, people who are training to be paramedics. So they can work in the ambulance. The ambulance actually moves and the lights flash and it goes, so you can learn to practice your particular skills like you're in a real ambulance. So that's for our paramedic students. Further along, we have our hospital ward. So we have an emergency hospital ward. We've got an operating theatre and many other different types of hospital wards. And then we've got our physiotherapy suite. So we've got lots of labs that measure for the physiotherapy department. And at the other end of the corridor, we've got what we call our home environment. And this simulates somebody's house, because what you'll find in the UK is much of the healthcare takes part in people's home environment. So not only are we teaching people to work in hospitals and to work in particular physiotherapy centres and laboratories, we're also helping health professionals to teach in a home environment. So we've got our home environment. And then we also have a fantastic suite of biological and biomedical science laboratories. And we've also got some excellent psychology laboratories. So you can see a lot of the learning will take place in the laboratories, in the actual hospital wards before you go out onto placement. And of course, you'll also attend lectures and attend seminar classes and tutorials. What else was I going to tell you about our program? So we've got our pre-registration programs where at the end of the degree you will get your registration certificate, and we also do a number of post-registration programs, but that's postgraduate once you finish your first degree. So basically, if you're studying at the School of Health and Life Sciences at Glasgow Caledonian University, you'll experience a lot of practice-based learning. Our programs are all professionally regulated, so you'll get professional regulation at the end of your program, the British Psychological Society for psychologists, Nursing Midwifery Council for nurses, and the list goes on. And the chances are, as part of your program, you'll have some experience working in the National Health Service. So without going into program details per se, it's a quick overview of what we study and undergraduate study in the School of Health and Life Sciences. And often as part of your undergraduate study, you will get an opportunity to study in a different country. So if, for example, you're studying psychology, you can do a semester somewhere in Europe or in America. If you're studying some of our allied health professions or nursing, you can go and do a placement internationally. So there are many different international experiences. Before I go on and tell you a little bit about studying in Scotland, if anybody's got any questions, please put them in the chat. Hannah, do we have any questions in the chat?
No questions at the moment. John has told us that he's in Ireland today.
Oh, he's in Ireland today. I hope the weather's better in Ireland than it is in Scotland today.
No, fingers crossed. It's lovely to welcome you, John. Yes, if anyone has any questions while Karen's talking, please feel free to ask them and we'll get to them when the presentation is finished.
Okay, and also I'm interested if you can put in the chat what sort of programs you're interested in, because if you're interested in a particular program, I can tell you a little bit more about that. So while we're waiting to see if
There we go. John's let us know that he is curious about physiotherapy.
Physiotherapy is one of our most popular programs. And the great thing about physiotherapy, John, is it's a really diverse program. We've got students from lots of different countries, lots of UK students. It's one of the most popular programs for our UK students, but we've also got some students from different parts of the world come and study physiotherapy. And our physiotherapy laboratories have got some fantastic new equipment in it. 4-year program, I know that a number of our physiotherapy students do one of their elective placements internationally, because I've just signed off lots of international forms for our physiotherapy students who are, so some students who may be international students come study physiotherapy, and then between their 3rd year and 4th year, they go and do some practice in Canada or in some other country. Lots of placements in physiotherapy, lots of opportunities to work in different settings, healthcare placements, also with some sport and exercise work. We've got a lot of people that graduate and go work in the field of sport and exercise rather in a hospital location. So as part of your program, you'll get lots of different experience around the different placements. It's tough to get onto because it's so popular. You'll see the entry qualifications as part on our website, and writing a really good statement of purpose is particularly important. So interested in why you're interested in it, what sort of experience you've had, etc., etc. Hopefully that's, as I said, any more specific questions, I'm happy to answer, but that's just a kind of quick overview of physiotherapy. While we're waiting, Hannah, to see if any more questions come on, what I will say is studying in Glasgow is great fun. Scotland is a beautiful country, and the good thing about Glasgow is it's got a really good city vibe. It's got a fantastic reputation for live music, restaurants, bars, great nightlife, but it's quite a small city compared to London or some of the other big international cities. And so although you've got a real feel of being in a city, just take a train for half an hour and you're out in the countryside. We've got Loch Lomond, and we've got a train journey. I don't know if any of you watched the Harry Potter film when you were younger, but remember the train they take on the way to Hogwarts? It's only a couple of hours in a train from Glasgow to go on that Hogwarts train over the viaduct. So you are in the middle of beautiful countryside. So I think Scotland, from that, is in terms of price point, it's a cheaper place to study than London. But it's got a really good city vibe with a great nightlife. So I would highly recommend Glasgow as a place to study. What else can I say about studying in Glasgow? The good thing about the campus is we're right in the city centre, and we prioritise our accommodation for international students who are in their 1st year of study. So I would probably suggest staying on campus for your 1st year. If you're coming straight from school, if you're quite young, 18, 19, I'd be staying on campus for the 1st year. And then your 2nd year, 3rd year and 4th year, most people hook up with other friends and get an apartment in town. I know for our physiotherapy students, there's some apartments downtown, maybe a 10-minute walk from the campus, 15-minute walk from the campus, that our physiotherapy students have been staying in for many years. So if you stayed in university accommodation in 1st year, I'm sure somebody would help you and introduce you to a good apartment for the 2nd year, 3rd year and 4th year. So yes, I think if you came and studied in Glasgow, no matter what your hobbies are, how you like to spend your spare time, there are lots of opportunities. And of course, many of our students have part-time jobs. So many of our students will work part-time, maybe in a kitchen, in a restaurant, in retail. And as an international student, you're allowed to work up to 20 hours a week. That's a lot if you're studying full-time. But I know many of our students will work Friday nights, or maybe during the day and Saturday, or during the day and Sunday, to earn some extra cash. And that, of course, is allowed with your visa. How are we doing, Hannah? Any further questions? Anything else I should be telling our audience?
No, this is all sounding very, very good, Karen. No other questions at the moment. One other thing that I just wanted to mention from an international perspective that might give some of our guests on the webinar a bit of a clearer picture of what it's like on campus. We have a virtual experience, so a bit of a virtual tour that is able to access by all of our students, but is also very specific for those who are coming from international markets and also for specific programs. So all of the amazing facilities that Karen has described in her presentation, it gives you the opportunity to basically kind of see 360 tours and see a bit of a tour yourself of exactly what the campus looks like, which is really, really beneficial if you're not going to get the chance to do that before you come and study with us. So I'm just popping the link in here. Hopefully that link actually works. Let me just double check that it does. I don't know if you're actually able to click on that. Let me see. I'll just pop it in, and then that will give you the chance to have a look at the campus for yourself, which is really beneficial. Let me just see.
Yeah. One of the other things I forgot to say about the campus itself is I talked about Caledonian Court, the student accommodation. Mm-hmm. It's right on campus and right in the centre of town. So if you have a 9 o'clock class, you can set your alarm for 20 to 9 and still be in class on time. Rather than having to travel across many other universities, the accommodation is not necessarily on the actual campus. So you have to travel quite far. So if you're here in your first year and you've been out the evening before with friends and you decide you want to have a long lie, you don't need to get up till 20 minutes before class started. And that's one of my international students told me recently. One of my favourite things about being at Glasgow Caledonian is you can wake up and roll straight into class.
Absolutely. One other thing just to mention from an international perspective as well is that we have lots of opportunities within the university as a whole for, support with funding, scholarship information, which is all really valuable, especially when you consider the costs of moving to Glasgow. So I'm also going to pop in the scholarships page on the website just for you to be able to access that and see if there's anything that's appropriate for yourself. But it's always good as a bit of an extra support. Also worth just mentioning that GCU also offers a really good student wellbeing service for our students that are joining us, which essentially means that you get access to lots of different support. Particularly when you start your studies, it can be quite a daunting prospect, and there's student wellbeing service there to support you through your studies and to help you with any concerns that you have. And I know some of those staff firsthand, and they're all very, very friendly and welcoming. So yeah, just make the most of all of the facilities that are available at GCU when you come and join us.
Absolutely. I think, GCU's got a reputation for being incredibly good at student support. And I know quite often people are interested, where do we sit on the league tables? And what I forgot to mention in our presentation is that 10 of our subjects in School of Health and Life Sciences actually sit within the top 10. So we've got dietetics, occupational therapy, optometry, orthotics, physiotherapy, podiatry, radiography, social work are all within the top 10 in league tables. So we do very well in health for league tables, and I think the student support is one of the key issues. We always do very, very well support.
That makes a big difference.
Fully supported, and of course I have a welcome event for all our international students not long after you arrive on campus. So after you've had 2 or 3 weeks to settle in, I'll invite you to the International Student Welcome event, where we can sit and have a cup of tea and eat some chocolate biscuits and talk about the issues that you've maybe facing, how you're settling in, and if there's anything further we can do at the university to help your journey.
Absolutely. We always like the biscuits and the tea, don't we, Karen? Very much so. Okay, so I don't see any more questions in the chat. We'll give it another minute or two, just in case anyone wants to type any questions in. In the meantime, I am going to pop in an email address. Should anyone have any queries that they've not been able to have answered on the webinar, you can email this email address and someone from the GCU Inquiries team will be able to respond for you if there's anything specific to programme or even just life at GCU. So I'll pop that email address into the chat. Please feel free to contact that at any point and someone will get back to you. But I think in the absence of any more questions, Karen, all that is left to do is say thank you so much for your time today. That's been really, really insightful. And thank you to all of our guests for joining us. Again, we'll have recorded this session, so we'll send it out to everyone who attended, and we'll also send it to those who haven't been able to make it. But thanks again for joining us and hopefully see you in September.
Lovely. Again, it was very nice to see you again this morning, Hannah. And I really I welcome many of you that's watched the webinar to Glasgow Caledonian University in future years. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.